What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So, another week of Arrow. We get to it. Underneath, basically underneath all the problems that we've had with a lot of the characters, essentially. They got to the nitty gritty part of Oliver and Felicity in this one. So that was kind of good. But you guys know the drill. This is spoiler central. Lots of spoilers coming out here. So please, if you have not seen this episode, go and watch it. Then come on back. You know what we're talking about, and then we'll go from there, okay? Alright. So spoilers are incoming. Alright. So this episode, honestly, it seemed like a good way for them to clear the air between Oliver and Felicity so that those two could get back together. That's what the way it seemed, to be honest. Like, all of it. It was like, we know there's like tension there a lot, and we don't want to let go of this whole Oliver and Felicity thing. We don't want to. This is not a thing that the show wants to do. So we're going to address the problems, which is Felicity thinking that Oliver has no trust in her, and Felicity dumping Oliver because he didn't tell her about his son, which he couldn't tell her because if he did, the mother of her son would have taken him away and never let him see him again. But that's his fault. You know, all this stuff, all these problems, like the Helix stuff, all of it, it's what this episode was about, trying to get to the bottom of it and everything. But the whole premise of, like, why they're down there was a little convoluted, to be honest. It really was. So, it was all a trap. Like I said, it leads right off from the previous episode, where an explosion happens in the bunker after Felicity, yet again, plugs in something from hackers just willy-nilly into her computer, and something bad happens. It's like, this teaches you not to plug in things from strange people. You don't know this dude. Why are you plugging this shit in without testing it or anything? So, that happened. And, yeah, it narrowed in on them, and they said, oh, Chase is here. And a giant explosion happened. And it was an EMP. And that knocks out all the electrical stuff, including the bionic chip in Felicity's back that keeps her walking. And for me, it was like, so Chase needed to know Felicity was working for Helix. He had to know that Helix was going to break out the super hacker guy that has this program that could track his heartbeat. He had to know where the bunker was, which I'm probably sure he did. You know, he knows pretty much everything about them. So that's not a far stretch thing. He had to get into the bunker, plant an EMP, booby trap the elevator, and set everything up so that, well, a lot of the other stuff that happened was Oliver and Felicity's fault, but, you know, basically keeping them trapped down there. But they didn't know where he was in the first place. And if he knew about the super hacker dude that had this program, why did he just go there and kill him? That would make a far simpler way. I honestly thought it was Helix. I thought Helix was doing this. Like, Helix was, you know, they'll blame it on Chase, but in the end it would be like, you know, Helix will pop up and go, ha ha ha, we were the ones who kept you trapped down there. We wanted to kill you because Team Arrow interfered too much. And we think they're going to interfere too much in the future, that sort of thing. And like, we're sorry, Felicity, but you just aren't one of us. You know, that sort of thing. That's what I thought. I really did. I thought it was going to be them. Because they have the means, the knowledge, everything to do it. And it seemed more like their style. This just was very convoluted for Adrian Chase. It's like, they don't even know where he is in the first place. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It seemed very over the top, I guess. But it did get rid of the heart tracking thing. And it did allow him to execute his plan afterwards, which we'll get into a bit later. But yeah, so fair enough to him on that. But I just thought it's a little bit over the top, don't we think? Don't we think? Helix would make more sense here. But yeah. Like, even if, like, they went, oh, we're working for Prometheus. Sorry. Like, he paid us more or something. Or he's offering us something that we can't resist. So, that would make more sense. But, no, it was just Adrian Chase outsmarting everyone, again, including a giant organization of hackers that know everything. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, so that traps the two of them down there, and it starts like flashbacks of them like a night in the bunker when it's just those two, and they have Chinese food and wine and all the rest of it, and they basically make out and do it. Like they have a bit of a fling, like a one night stand, bit of a fling, which would happen. It happened, and I don't blame Oliver, man. I do not blame him. I mean, come on. But yeah, it basically did a lot of that stuff. It was like, we really want to get these two back together now. So we're going to kind of wipe the slate clean for them. We're going to make them address this issues by putting them in a room and make them work it out. That's basically what it was. It's like, we're just going to put them in a locked room and make them work out their issues. Make them address why they broke up in the first place, the trust issues, the whole Helix stuff, the Billy things, all of it. We're going to make them sort all this stuff. And it worked. It worked. They started rekindling that relationship, I guess. And I wouldn't be surprised if near the end of the season that it all kicks it back off again. I really wouldn't. I mean, you guys might know, if you guys watched a lot of my other reactions to Arrow and stuff, you probably know my opinion of Felicity. And I have no problem with her character personally. Like, I don't. Just as a Green Arrow fan, I feel like they've put so much effort into her that they've just forgotten, like, the second most important character in the Green Arrow universe, which was Laurel. Or Black Canary. A Black Canary character. Like, in anything. Like, Green Arrow, Black Canary. It's just that pairing. That's what it is. But they put so much effort into her, it was like, but she's just Felicity Smoke. But I get the reason why, because in the early days, when the show was getting going, Felicity, the actress who plays her, and Felicity herself, was very likable. She's very likable, and a lot of people like her. And I can get why the show would go, well, everyone likes her, we need to stick with her. And maybe not so many people like Laurel, so we'll shy away from her. And we'll give up on that relationship thing with Oliver and Laurel. Maybe we'll get back to it, maybe not, sort of thing. And obviously they're not going to. So they sort of passed over that for the more popular choice, which was Felicity at the time. And I mean, fair enough to them. I mean, they got to do something, they got to go with what is popular on the show, which is Felicity. People like her. I got to say, though, there were moments, with her hair down and she had the black stuff on. And then there was some moments where I think she had her glasses off and stuff. She kind of looked like Black Canary. She really did. She looked like, the comic book sort of Laurel there. I was like, okay, we're trying to make her kind of look like Black Canary now from there, trying to appease those people. I mean, okay. Like, I've given up on the Green Arrow Black Canary thing. It's just not going to happen. It's not. Because the Black Canary they have now is not even, she's a side character. She's probably the most undeveloped member of that team. She's not even on Renee and Curtis's level. She's not. She's barely used. She has a scream here or there, and that's about it. She just does not do anything. And if they're going to keep her around for the next season, I really hope they develop her a lot more, because she's just there. She's just there, and it's a little disappointing. It really is, because you're kind of wasting a really good, the character that she's supposed to be playing is a very good character. So, can we see it? No? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the whole that whole bit really. It's a bit sad. It's a bit sad, but yeah. So they're definitely going for the Oliver Felicity thing. Fine. That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, it was pretty much like them trapped down there and then the team trying to get them out. And a lot of it fell on Curtis. Curtis was the guy really getting stuff done. And obviously the stuff still going on with Dig and Lila. Dig, man, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. She's a spy, for God's sake. Let it go. She runs a spy agency. I'm glad he did in the end. Like, in the end, he was like, oh yeah, maybe I'm in a bit of a gray area too, so it's a bit bad for me to judge. Damn right it is. It's like, Dig, that's not cool. It's not cool. Give Lila a break, And I'm glad they kind of worked that out. It was like, it just didn't make any sense. It's like, Dig, you beat up people for a living that, yeah, you have evidence, but it's not like they've been tried or, police have found them guilty of anything or anything. You just beat them up and throw them in jail, And you follow a guy who's killed people just because he thinks they should be killed. That's... it just didn't make sense. And I'm glad they just got rid of that. It was like, we're going to pass on that. We're going to let it go. And the T-Spheres, they got a bit of an upgrade, which was pretty cool. At one point where, they're trying to get out, Felicity and Oliver trying to get out, and Oliver's still bleeding out because of his idiotic freaking elevator climb, and he falls on a bolt and the just gushes out with blood, and he's losing blood all the time and passing out every freaking 10 minutes. And they get like a little needle thing in it, in the T-Sphere, and he's got to inject the adrenaline in, and then she sort of throws it away, and it sounds like a Star Wars droid. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I'm glad the T-Spheres are still, they're developing them more, making them more of a part of Curtis and his character, because that's done so much for his character. So much. And I know I say this a lot, but Curtis was so bad. He was so bad the first part of the season. And ever since he got his T-Spheres, he's been so much better. And, him and Renee have a really good relation, like, sort of buddy partnership. I like that a lot. I think it's really cool. So, yeah, I think the team-wise, like, besides Dinah, really, they're developing all right. I think they're developing quite well. So, let's hope they keep going with that. But yeah, it's just the whole going back to the Felicity and Oliver stuff, because there's a lot there. They addressed quite a lot. Like, Felicity finally said why she joined Helix, why she did all this stuff. It was because of Billy. It was because she wanted to get revenge on Chase and all the rest of it and make him pay. And she was going to do anything to get that done. And it allowed her to see a little bit of what Oliver kind of has gone through. And I think she kind of has more of a perspective on it all. Why he keeps some secrets, why he's a little distrusting of things, and, the whole reason why he wanted to keep his son a secret, and, how that was a bit harsh to break up with him for that. And she apologizes for that. I was like, thank you, Felicity. It's about damn time, because you were pretty heartless, right there to dump him for that reason. But, it fed into a whole bunch of other stuff, because Oliver can't trust himself because of the whole killing thing, and he just doesn't really know who he is. How can he trust other people explicitly, completely? And he's still going on about Chase, with his, showing him that he loves killing. That's just Chase staying right in there. He's staying right in there, and he's not coming out anytime soon. But I think the thing that will break him out of it is that Chase has William. He has William. He has Oliver's son, and that's going to drive Ollie to do some stuff. Because, Prometheus in, the comics, it drives Green Arrow to do some pretty dark, drives into a dark moment. It really does. And I think we're getting to that point, either he's coming out of the dark moment or he's about to hit the low point. And, I'm very excited to see what is coming up, what's going to be for the final few episodes. Really, we're getting down to the nitty gritty part, and I'm very keen to see the final, sort of showdown between these two. I think it would be a really, really cool thing, and especially now that William's involved. Basically, he would. Because, Chase would love to do this. Chase would love to do the same thing that Oliver did to him, but do it to his son. So it would become a cycle. And, obviously William will probably figure out that his father's the Green Arrow, and it's going to go into all this stuff. And, he'll try and tell William, oh, your father's a killer, and he's all this, and he's murderer, and probably try and turn his son against him. I can see it coming. I really can. I can see it coming. But yeah, overall though, I think the episode was pretty strong. It had some good moments. It finally answered some questions for us. It got over some problems that it's been having. With some, I guess, the reasoning behind certain characters' actions, and they've left these actions lingering for a while, and it's can we just wrap this up a little bit? Let's tie it in a bow, let's put it away, sort of thing. Let's finish it off. And it did a good job. It did a good job of wrapping some of it up. Some of it as they just sort of said I'm sorry and it all went away, sort of thing. But it's getting there. It's getting there, I think. And obviously, it's going to be all about getting Oliver and Felicity back together. That's really what it is. It's all about getting Oliver and Felicity back together. And I've resigned to the fact that we're not going to see a Green Arrow Black Canary. We're not. We're not going to see that. Arrow is just not going to do it. It's not. Because the Black Canary we have right now is not going to do it. And unless they turn Felicity somehow into Black Canary, that won't happen. That won't happen. And that's a little disappointing. I think it would have been cool. It would have been cool to see that in a TV series, a story that I've been reading for a long time. To see that on a TV series would have been great. I just think now we've gotten to a point where we just gotta say, it's done. It's done. And, maybe the only way out of it would be Dark Siren, but... Black Siren, sorry. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're done with, that whole thing. And they're gonna stick with Felicity, and they're gonna stick with her. And go with that. And fair enough. They put a lot of work and a lot of time into Felicity. And that's cool. That's cool. I just have to hope for a Green Arrow movie or something like that. But DC don't do such good movies. So, oh well. It's still a good show. I still enjoy it. So, fair enough. Oh yeah, and the damn purple light through this entire episode. It was cool in places, but goddamn, it got really annoying on my eyes. It was like a freaking neon party. It really was. But I guess, the chemical lights, you can't do much about that. But yeah. Also, just while I'm remembering the thing, that damn base, that bunker, that thing has no safety things in it at all, does it? It's got no manual escape hatches. It has no emergency ventilation systems. No natural ventilation systems. Nothing. Like, gas gets released in the bunker, nothing sucks it out. I know there was a big EMP, and I guess no one expects an EMP, but no emergency, no fire exits, no nothing. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, this base that they've created, that Cisco created, is just a giant death trap. Oh man, I guess yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it was. But yeah, it made an interesting episode. And I like the whole escape room thing. It was kind of cool. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's right down there. Also, check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheAverageKiwiGuy. Hit that follow button. You'll know when we go live. And also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, okay? Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.